There we go. We are apparently live. Hello, hello. Yes, this familiar thing. Welcome to another Mac84 live stream. My name is Steve. The camera's off center and we're a bit of a mess today. But as you can see here, we have our friend, the Color Classic, back on the desk. And hello, Aaron. Welcome to the chat. Let me just shrink things down here because I got this big thing in the way so I can't see you guys. Oh, let me turn my phone on Do Not Disturb so we don't get any disruptions. How's everyone doing today? It's not that big. Well, it's blocking my view. If you were sitting where I was sitting, you would be able to see. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, boy. How you guys doing today? Any good day, bad day? Sorry, just finishing that up. There we go. Alright, so, we got Charlie in the chat. Hey, Marisa. Hey, Super Aiden. Hey, Retro Red Room. I always mix it up. Size doesn't matter. Awesome. So, yeah, so we're going to continue where we left off. For those of you who didn't catch up from the previous two videos, essentially, we had well, I have two of these machines, two Color Classics, and we have two logic boards. And so, the logic board that's in here now, if I can turn it around, is nice and tidy and all recapped. We have a network card on top of here, so let me adjust that. Let's show you. Oh, thank you, Super Aiden. That's very, very kind of you. Let's easily coax this network card off. Okay, here we go. Oh, what was that? Yeah. So we can see this board is all nice and tidy and recapped. You can see those yellow elements here are the new capacitors that we put on. And so we did a video about that. Now, getting the capacitors on, that was not the tricky part. Getting the capacitors off, that was the tricky part. No, I don't believe there's any need to replace any of the capacitors on the network card. Yeah, it looks okay to me. I don't see any of the nasty ones that these old Macs tend to have. So, yeah, this seems to be pretty good. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I think I did a pretty clean job on it. And what I want to do is the same thing on this board. So I have two Color Classics, so I have two boards. Now, I won't necessarily be using these two boards as often because it's very easy to put a better board inside of this. This one actually has a math coprocessor on it. That's this little optional chip here. You can see that is missing in this board here. So if we do a side-by-side, you can see that. So that helps speed things up a little bit. So I'd like to have this board recapped to save it. Hello, Bruce. And unfortunately, we're going to probably see a lot of jumping capacitors and terrible things. So, yeah, you guys will enjoy that. I won't. But if anybody was present for the last stream, well, yeah. So, only difference is I have goggles now. So, they aren't the best. I cleaned them up a little bit so I could sort of see through them. But just to protect any capacitor juice from getting in my eyes because, yeah, these things were quite violent. So, let's adjust the camera a little bit. It's a little bit too far. We're good. Alright, so, alright, let's get started here. So I'm going to bring the Color Classic off the desk here. And we are going to move this here. We're going to put the new board away. We are going to go to Bruce's fabulous website of capacitors. For those of you who, I can't see because my arm is in the way here. For those of you who don't know, Bruce in the chat has a website called Recap a Mac, which is fantastic. And if I could actually click on things here, there we go. And what's great about that, so the URL is recapamac.au. So that's recapamac.au. And what's nice about that is he has a list and visual maps of all the capacitors for a lot of vintage Macs. So I'm just bringing it up on the screen here. And I'm just going to go to Resources, and I'm going to select the Macintosh Color Classic. And he also has the layout for the analog board there too. Oh, and he has replacement component links. Very nice, Bruce. Yes, yes, there. Bruce put the link in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, so he has even has component links to Mouser. So if you click on that, it finds the capacitor right there. So you don't have to do any guesswork. That is fantastic because that is what took me so long to recap these things. I was, oh, I'll look at the capacitors. Then when I finally get around to it, wait, there was like 5 different ones. What do I choose from? So that helps out a lot. So excellent job there, Bruce. Very, very cool. So I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to not need it at this second because we're going to remove the old capacitors first. But very nice to see that. What I am going to do is I have some, I think I put some tinfoil. Yep. So we were using this before. Because with this board, there's a lot of plastic around it. And we're going to switch the microscope in a little bit. And we're going to get all these nasty capacitors off of this board. So how does that sound, everybody? Sound good? I'm excited. I'm excited to not have to do this for this board anymore, because if it's anything like the last board, it's going to be exploding and capacitors are going to go flying, and it'll be funny for everybody but me, which I think makes for good TV. But, oh boy. The LCs are tricky, because everything is very compact. I mean, I have an LC board on the floor here. Well, it's a Quadro board, but yeah, good luck with that. They're not the best first ones to do, but yeah, you're going to have to get very creative in the way you shield the heat from the plastics, because some of them are right up against the SCSI port. Actually, I'm just noticing the Quadro 605 I have on the ground has 2 capacitors right next to plastic. That's going to be fun. We'll probably do that next. But all right, so let's take a look at this board here. Let's make sure we have all of our goodies here. We have our heat station. Let's make sure that's turned on. There we go. And what I'm going to do is, oops, I'm going to try on. Oh, I didn't look for that. That's why I forgot to look for last time. I didn't look for the little thingy, whatever it's called, needle syringe thing that's supposed to go on my big thing of flux here. So we'll have to make do. That's interesting. I keep hearing about the Apple CD drives that they need to be recapped. That would explain a lot, because I have a few that just don't want to read anything. They do get power, though, so maybe I have a different problem. But, I mean, those are old, so who knows. In fact, I have to keep my eye on my phone because I might have some word about one of those soon that I have to keep an eye on. So, all right, let's get this started. I might have to take a few breaks in here, but we will do our best for at least an hour of fun here. So, all right, let's get started here. So I'm going to put some. That's right. This is sort of standing up because there's little springs in here. I'm going to get the microscope in a second, but I want to put some foil over the areas which I know will come into contact with some heat. And we want to try and shield that as much as possible. So my desk could always use a bit more cleaning. I am looking for the piece of metal that I had on my desk previously, which is, of course, no longer on my desk, because why should it stay on my desk? Fun. We will be needing our capacitors, so I'll get those out in a little bit, but they're all in this little box. I do have some PCI covers, which I was using the other day, which should have not gone far, hopefully. I always think I'm ready, and then I realize I misplaced something, so sorry about that. Let's see. Bruce says he has recapped a few Apple CD300s. It's not a fun job. Oh, boy. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Yes, flux is required, I would say. Very, very much required. If you are not using flux, you are just opening yourself up for a world of pain and frustration. Trust me, been there, done that, tried to be cheap, tried not to use flux, regretted it. And you need good flux, not just the crap you may find. Good, no clean flux. That's what you need to look out for. I'm sure Bruce is already getting a link from Amazon to paste in the chat. Because this stuff is vital if you're going to be doing this stuff properly. Sorry, I'm just looking for that. Oh, there they are. They were hiding under the piece of wood here. We have this one. I think there should be one more. Nope. Well, we got two at least. That should help us out for now. And we got this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, yeah, it pays to go slow, and I keep saying it, but practice on something that you don't care about, something that is not valuable, something that is broken. Yeah, that way, if you mess it up, you're not doing anything bad. All right, so let's take a look at our little microscope here. We're gonna try and get an above view here. So let's focus this. Now, I don't have the best microscope by any means of the imagination, but I'm just using the tools that I have. There we go. Okay. And I'm actually probably going to start in this area. And so I'm going to put the camera in this in a second. I just want to set this area up kind of before I get to it. And the reason for all this is I'm just trying to reduce as much heat as possible from getting to the plastic pieces on this board. Because there's this plastic edge connector I don't want to warp. There's some ROMs and such I don't want to touch or anything. So we're just trying our best to make sure that we don't have any problems here. Now, I will be putting on these goggles, and I will look very silly on them, I'm sure. Especially because I have my glasses on within these goggles. But this is to make sure I don't get any of that disgusting cap juice on, because it probably will happen. Now, for extra excitement, I will be putting the camera looming over me a little bit. So if something flies up, you'll be able to see it. Because, as we know from before, that was something that did happen. So, alright, so it's a little hard to see in these things, so apologies if I don't see all of your comments or anything like that. I'm just going to expand this window so I can see what I'm working on. And, yeah, so let's move this a little bit. It's always the careful balance of having you see what I want you to see, which would be entertaining, and then having myself see what I need to see to do the work. So, alright, so let's try and adjust this as best we can here. Okay, that's going the wrong way. It's always confusing the orientation of these as well. Hello, Micro Mage Repair. Okay. Alright, so that is going to be our first problem area of the night, unfortunately. I'm going to put a little bit of flux on these capacitors to hopefully make them so they are not as hard to remove. So, I really tightened that tight, didn't I? Jeez. There we go. I could use the crummy flux, but it'd be tortured if I did. So, this would be much easier with that little syringe thing. But you know what? We'll do the best we can for now. So the flux helps encourage the solder to flow, especially on boards that are 30 years old. It's always nice to just have a little bit of help there. So that is something that will be helpful. This likes to leak a lot, so whenever I have some excess flux, I'll just put it somewhere on the board where I will be using it, because this stuff ain't cheap. So, alright, now comes the fun part. We're going to be turning on the heat gun and blasting this thing with heat. And if it's anything like the other board, these capacitors may pop and smolder and fly around. So I'm just adjusting my setup here so I can see what I need to see. And wish me luck, guys, because this is, it looks fun, but really, it's it's required work that I'm not 100% happiest doing, because, yeah, reasons. Alright, let's Let's get this show going, huh? Oh, I could smell it already. This is going to be bad. I'm remembering why I didn't want to do this. Sorry, just reading. I should not be reading comments while I'm doing this. It's just an excuse to not do it. Hold on. I have to respond to this message. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Like I said, I'm going to get some interruptions here. Let me just see something here. It's hard to see with these goggles on. I don't think we need that, actually. Because I want to try and approach this from an angle where I could actually pull them off better. There we go. So let's adjust this here. Of course, this probably is a better risk for them flying towards me. But, yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again. So I actually will use this long stick to sort of prod them out of the way. I have a feeling this is not getting as high as it should be. Oh. Well, that one came quietly. How about that? Alright. I don't think they're all going to be that happy, but... Alright, that one came off too. This board is cooperating. So far. There we go. I'm cautiously optimistic. Now, I hope we didn't melt anything here. No, everything looks good. Excellent, excellent. So, these smell horrible, but at least nothing has popped yet. So I will get my little container here. Hold on. A discarded caps container here. I turned the heat a little bit lower, which explains why it's taking longer, but that also may explain why maybe they're not popping as easily. Which is, hey, good news to me. Alright, so the next one I'm going to tackle is the bunch over here. There's 4 of them here. So we'll do that in a second. Let me adjust everything. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so right now the temperature is set at, I believe, like 380. It was at a little bit over 400 last time, which would explain that. Why it was making noise, why it was popping before, maybe. So, all right. So let's continue with this here. I usually keep it around 400. Sometimes I adjust them if I'm having problems, but yeah, let's continue here. So I'm gonna try and move this board around here so I can get a better look. Now, this is what I did before. In fact, there's still the shape of the oh, where's my camera? There's still some shape of the PDS slot on this foil here. And this is just as an extra precaution. It's plastic. I don't want it to melt. Is it still warm? No. But oh, this is disgusting. Look at all that capacitor juice on the little metal PCI card slots I was using. Let me clean that off. Ugh. And I will clean off those other areas later on. I'll just... Ugh, yeah, that is... Actually, let's clean that off now while it's maybe still warm. That is nasty. I could take my goggles off for a second. That is disgusting. Let's get a little cup here so we can put some alcohol. And we'll use our toothbrush and a cotton swab and just get some of that stuff out of there. Okay, yeah, just get... I mean, thankfully the... just on initial first impressions, the pads don't look too bad, which is good. The board still doesn't, work, but hopefully it will when we're done with it. Question: my PowerBook has issues starting up. It has to be plugged in for a while. Is that a capacitor problem or a PRAM battery issue? It could be the capacitor problem, unless the PowerBook requires a PRAM battery to boot. The PRAM battery should not be causing the problem, but I mean, PRAM batteries are weird. Sometimes they could, sometimes they can't. So, I don't know what model it is. Depending on the model, you may have some different solutions there. But I haven't played around with a lot of PowerBooks in a while. In fact, I used to have some early PowerBooks, like the 145 and the 160 and such, and I gave them away, because they were for parts anyway. They didn't fully work, but I gave them to someone who wanted to play around with them. Okay. 1400 CS. Okay. I have one of those that does work, so probably needs to be recapped, actually. Okay, cool. So let's place our little metal shield thing. Metal. Tinfoil, rather. Just to cover this slot here. And that's not all we're going to be doing. We're going to be putting, that's what I was going to do. I was going to clean those off. See, I get sidetracked by reading things. It's not your fault, my fault, but... Hope these camera angles are okay. Let me know if, hopefully you can see everything pretty good. I'm just cleaning some things now. Okay. Well, you can always send it to me. I can't guarantee when I'll get to it, but I mean, as long as you pay shipping to and from, you know. But again, that eats into the cost of these things. Okay, so let's put a little piece of metal here. Oh. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Yeah, we just want to protect the plastic area around these capacitors, and sometimes you try bending this the other way. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Okay, cool. So that's not too bad there. I can see that this where's the microscope here? I can see that the solder on these are very old and crusty looking, but not the worst that I've seen. But definitely not perfect by any stretch of the imagination here. Okay, so alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to get those two off of there. I'm going to try, oh, this is what I screwed up last time. I'm going to try not to ruin this label. In fact, take a picture of this label first, just in case I do ruin it. Okay. I do have tape here. Hold on. Where'd my tape go? Tape. Maybe? Tape? Here it is. There we go. Let's just put some of this over that. Of course it ripped on me. Come on. Let's just try to do that here. Again, just want to make sure I could wedge this down as far as possible there. Okay, cool. And, yeah, I think that's okay. Alright, I'm going to readjust this camera a little bit. I know you can't really see anything right now, so hold on. Okay, and let's just try and tune in the focus there. I think that's the best I'm going to get with my cheapo setup here. Okay, cool. So we're going to put some flux on these capacitors here just to suggest that they come out here. Let's see if this is better than using that awkward sponger thing. It is. How about that? Okay, that should hopefully help us there. Okay, yeah, collecting Macintoshes is very tempting. So I feel your pain there, but it's good to limit yourself because then you know what you're getting yourself into. You make plans for it. You're like, all right, I need these adapters, these wires, etc., etc. All right, so we're gonna try and take these caps off. I kind of like the idea of nudging it with these when I have room. I don't know if I have room here, but it keeps me from burning myself because heat guns get hot. Imagine that. Alright, so goggles on. Wait for it to heat up. Oh, there it goes. It's gonna pop. It really looks like it wants to. Oh, don't leave us in suspense. Damn it. It smells horrible. I don't want to get anywhere close to this thing. And it's going to pop and scare the crap out of me. Hey, Greg. Eep! This is a very cautious eep. I hope your stream, Grudy, is not as eventful. Actually, hold on. I want to stop this for a second. I want to see something here, because I've been able to do this on one capacitor before, and I'm curious. Yep, there we go. I can actually take the metal off of this, because it is so loose that it's like a little top. Well, it might not do it. I'm not going to force it, but... maybe it won't do it, but... No, I don't think it will. But, oh, well, this, like, get rid of this gummy plastic that's just stuck there. And just put a little more flux on there, because whatever it is. No, I'm not going to pull the pad. I was just taking a look. Trust me, I've pulled pads before. It's not fun. Alright. All this melting plastic is just, ugh, disgusting. There we go. Ooh. That is disgusting. Disgusting. You can probably see all this gunk all over here. I mean, it's not as bad as the camera makes it look, but pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oop. Whoa! Alright, that got this on me, and I have no idea where the rest of it went. But I'm glad I was wearing my goggles, because that thing just flew. Ooh. Where did it go? We need an instant replay or something like that. Let me put this down. Where the heck did that thing go? Part of it flew towards me. I know that. I'm looking on the ground here. I don't know if this one's it. No. Yeah, this. Here it is. I found it. This little guy. Oh boy. Yeah, we're not gonna let you do any more damage, sir. Very bad cap. Very bad. Ah! That goes in the fire to Hall of Fame of bad capacitors. That would go right there. You can rewind, I think. Oh God, let's clean this up. This is disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, don't worry, Matt. The way this is going, I don't think that'll be the last one. Okay, so let's take a peek here. Well, it didn't get melted. It got disgusting, but I'll take disgusting over melted. So. Surprised the tape didn't combust or anything either. Not that I'm tempting things here, but... Cheers! See you later. Thanks for stopping by. Alright. Alright. So, let's go onward and upwards, huh? Alright, so this is going to be annoying because it's... This plastic I'm worried about. This brown plastic on the left I'm worried about. Not so much the chip. I think the chips can handle a lot of heat, if I'm correct. So I think we should be able to use, if I bend this a little more, just like that, maybe? No? Wait. Without springs or anything, it's a little difficult to stand these up, but there we go. I think that'll actually protect most of what I'm concerned about. I don't think I have to worry about the plastic as much because I'm not going to be right next to it. But yeah, let's put some flux here. I will move that around a little bit because I want it to go exactly over there. There we go. I hope you guys are having fun so far. I'm excited because I'm almost done with this, getting these nasty caps off. We have a few more to go. We have 4 more to go. And yeah, this is it's the exciting part. For you guys, at least. For me, it's exciting for me because I want to get it done, but I don't like them popping. Alright, so let's put our goggles back on and let's continue. In fact, I'm going to zip up my hoodie here. So if I get hot capacitor flying at me, I'm just a little bit more protected. How about that? Alright. I'll put my hood on too. Why not? I look ridiculous, I'm sure. But when has that been different? Here it goes. Oh, it didn't pop yet. Let's hope it doesn't, because it's right on the board now. Let's get that out of there. Hey, okay. Oh, Gritty will be hosting the stream tomorrow. Okay. Very cool. I'll see you there if I can. I know a lot of us couldn't make it for tomorrow's Mac Yak, but that'd be fun if Gritty could host. Yeah, I mean that's what the Flux is kind of doing. These don't look as bad. The ones that were over here, I think, were the worst. But I have tried that in some previous recapping, and yeah, hopefully the Flux is enough to just do what I wanted to do. But that's a good suggestion. Groot Yak. Ugh, that doesn't have a good sound to it. I'm just kidding. Oh, I forgot. Eep! Thank you, Greg. I just did it 2 seconds before you did that. This cap's for you, Greg. Alright, that came off without too much incident. That's good. Very good. Alright, let's clean up that area. We could probably focus a little better on the board here. There we go. So we have 2 capacitors to go. And with my luck, these will be the 2 most painful. Okay, so let's see. Those pads actually do not look too bad. Not looking too bad over there. Now, this little one over here is going to be annoying, I think. Hopefully not. Because last time I mean, look at the little feet there. That's, yeah, in fact, let's see if I can actually tin the solder on this, because this looks like it's worn, like the you can't even really see the solder on there. So if I could try and coax that one, I'm not going to try and remove it just with the soldering iron, because it's hard to do it from both sides there. But I'm at least going to try and add a little dab of solder to that to just try and suggest that it be so kind as if it were to remove itself. Oh, sorry. I got the camera there. Now, this is going to be difficult, trying to protect this little plastic thing. Let me turn this, actually. This is going to be a tricky one, I think. Maybe I'm just overprotective of my board here. Where am I? Okay. We don't want any of our ROM chips or anything to get messed up either. Wow. Yeah, Aaron, that sounds much worse than this one. All right, so let's see if we could get this this little cap to relieve itself a little easier by giving it a little fresh solder on each side. Okay. Alright, so hopefully that'll help it. Goggles back on. And let's see if this little one's going to be cooperative or not. Oh, it lifted, but it didn't pop. There we go. Get off the board! Okay. Oh, yes. Alright, okay, so let's position our camera a little bit here. We're just going to clean off this area, which is a little hard to see because this little plate is right there, but we could remove that. So here's where that capacitor was. I don't think this one was too bad. Okay, so if experience tells me anything, this last capacitor is going to be a pain in the butt. Not only is it surrounded by plastic, there's also the battery holder, which is right next to it too. So let me try and prepare this as best I can. Sorry, let me just respond to this here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so, yeah, let's just try and... Nope, you're not seeing this, I apologize. Still trying to get used to this. Okay. I always try and keep it PG. You never know who's going to be watching. Especially if it's little children that I know that I am related to. That seem to have a fascination with technology in my videos, which, hey, I'm not going to discourage. Especially because kids love to watch things on repeat. I'm going to just... and you never know who's watching. I mean, yeah. If I'm going to curse at something, I'm going to play around a UT with the Mac84 crew. Then you'll hear my true colors come out. But that's all in good fun. Well, I'm not necessarily blaming it on that. Oh, awesome, Jay. Thank you very, very much. We're covering a lot of topics here. So we're on the last capacitor, for those of you just tuning in. We've had some popping. Not nearly as many crazy ones as the last one, but I'm speaking with the last capacitor here, so who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't. That's what I'm saying. Who knows? Let's see if we could get this to protect maybe some of that. I know I'm probably going a little overboard here. It's just the battery holder. But oop. I know it's gonna happen. Just wedge it in there. No, maybe. Come on. Alright, well, we could use our tinfoil here. Next topics for next week. I don't think that's really Apple related. I think honestly, PC stuff has made me probably made me lose my temper and get upset much more than Apple stuff. Much more. Alright, let's try and get this little thing out of the way, which is, I think, going to be a pain in the butt because it's so close to everything here. And I'm not going to have, I don't think the, well, let's just give it a try. I'm afraid I'm melting the plastic around it. Come on. Be a good little capacitor and just get the heck off of there. This one's probably going to pop. Maybe? I think that was a slow popper. Because you can't see it from the angle the camera's on, but the metal lid came up. There we go. Okay, so that is the last nasty capacitor on this board. And it looks like we didn't do any plastic damage, which is excellent. But you could see exactly where that capacitor was. Oh, boy. My fingers are all just greasy and sticky and disgusting. Alright. Just from touching these little capacitors, it's just... Ugh. I mean, honestly, the pads don't look all that bad. I don't know if it's just, this particular board, the particular year capacitor. I've done much older boards and haven't had the issue, but this machine, both of these classic machines had a date of March and I believe June or October or something like that, 1993. So maybe 1993 was just a really bad year for capacitors at this particular factory with this particular model. Who knows? But just shows you why you got to get these capacitors off these machines. I mean, it's only going to get worse as the time goes on here. So, all right, so we can take these silly goggles off, thankfully. And I wish I had like a little water fountain to wash my hands with, but I don't. Yes, these capacitors and their contents do not age like fine wine. That is for sure. I'm going to try and carefully remove this tape that we put here. I don't know if I should do it yet or if I should leave it. Well, let me just see how easily it's going to come off here. Oh, it's actually taking the label with it. That's what I was afraid of. But I guess that's what happens when you put tape on tape and then you melt the tape and get it hot. And let's see from this angle. Alright, that seems to be okay. Nah, yeah, it did mess it up there. Whatever. I have a picture, it's just a label. You don't have the original label on it. It's worthless now. Yeah, I think that actually made it worse because all the capacitor juice just... ugh. Oh, there we go. That actually helped us there. Clean off our tweezers here, which have disgusting capacitor juice all over them now. Ugh. That's not too bad. Just having it on my show just increases the value, right? Is that how that works? Ah, shoot. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to try and get that a little bit above here. That's just disgusting. Yeah, this is I just want the crud off of it at this point. Get some of that gunk out of the way. Okay. I could fix it with the Sharpie. I could just print out a new label, to be honest. A picture of the other one. think you just see how disgusting some of this stuff is. Does not like coming off. Yep. Okay, cool. Alright, so graphite G3. Don't you mean a blue and white G4 or a graphite G4? Alright, so now we're going to do a much easier thing, hopefully, is to clean the pads off so we could prepare ourselves for our new capacitors. So first, what I'm going to do is, let me just switch the camera here. I'm going to get our capacitors so we are prepared. So I have Bruce's guide up here on my screen. Hello, Abandoned. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we need one 10 microfarad 16 volt. That is this one right here. Okay, we'll put that over here. Oop. As I almost let go of the box of all the capacitors. Okay, and then we need two 100 microfarad 6.3 volt. So that's not that one. We'll need these in a second. Those are the bigger ones. That's the 10. Where'd they go? 50. 6.3. Here we go. Alright, so we need two. I'm running the lowest on these two right now. Okay, so let's take those off. So we just need two of these. I'll just put those over here. I like to keep them in these little bags so they're organized. I'll probably get a better system eventually, but whatever works for now. And then we need 6 of these 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors. So we have 9 in total that we have to replace today. Just trying to keep the tape, the long tubing of these in here, so I don't have to worry about them all falling out. All right, great. And let's cut that so future me doesn't get frustrated with it. Oh. Alright, see you later, Abandoned. Alright, so let's put those, just organizing them by their value over there so I don't have to get confused over which goes which, and where, all that fun stuff. Alright, so we no longer need our heat gun, but we'll be using our soldering iron. So let me turn on this little fan. I have to turn on the monitor in order to turn on the fan. There we go. So we don't breathe in any delicious solder fumes. You don't want to do that. What I will be doing is, let's bring this back over here. Yes, those are MacBook batteries acting as a counterbalance to this thing, because this thing is just, even though this little camera weighs nothing, it is top heavy. So let's make the best of what we can make over here. Okay. And let's mess around here. Let's try and get a focused signal image, you know what I mean. Words is hard. Okay, and hopefully with this new tip and everything, I should be able to make quick work out of this, as we discovered the other day. Alright, so yeah, so I'll probably have to actually end this in 35 minutes. I have to do some things, but we might be able to get this done by then. So let's try it. So we'll need our flux. And what we're going to be doing is just getting well, this needs to be cleaned more. Getting those pads in tip-top shape. So let's put some fresh solder on. I don't think that we'll actually need too much here because they don't look like they're in too bad of a shape. Well, that has some gunk on it. But we want to get all the nasty stuff off of these pads, including that 30-year-old solder. And to help us out with that, we'll be using our wick here. And you know what? Just wouldn't hurt to just, yeah. And let's see if this wants to be cooperative today. Well, that sucked it right up instantly. Wow. That is a dramatic difference. Oh, it still got stuck, but let's let the iron heat itself up again. Really? Come on. I was just praising you, too. Might have something to do with the fact that this the tail I have is quite long here. Why would you not sleep for 2 days? Okay. Hello, donkey? I'm trying to get this off of this pad. There we go. Ooh, yeah, it I don't know if we lifted that pad or if that was just the solder, but we'll take a look at that in a second. I think the problem is that tail is too, I don't know. Let me just clip the end of this off here. If my hand could actually do it here. Okay. I have to clean this up again, but this keeps getting stuck. What the heck? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm using a considerable amount of heat here. This is just frustrating. Nothing ever goes as you plan on a live stream, kids. Really? You don't want to move, do you? I mean, I pretty much have my iron cranked up to the highest temperature here. I'm not going to rip it off because then it's going to rip the pad off. And I'll have more problems. Exactly what I don't want to do. I'm just wait for this to heat up again and try again. There we go. Maybe it was just some of the disgusting stuff that was stuck in those caps or what, but yes, exactly. Good old 90s solder. So just trying to clean up these pads as best I can before we put the new capacitors on them. Very important to do this. You don't want any of that old crap that was on there, making it hard to making it difficult to have your capacitor have a good connection. And also, if you're going to be placing something on there, you want to make sure it's going to be clean and tidy. You don't want it to, just be problematic for the next 30 years of its life. Okay, so we don't have the best here, but I think we're gonna have to get the. I can't even speak. I think we're just gonna have to make do with what we have. So, all right, let's get this going here. So, we have 47 microfarad 16 volt capacitors. So we have 3 of those. So let's bring 3 of those onto the desk here. Okay, and we're going to use our flux to help keep everything in place and to work its magic. Okay. Let's clean off these tweezers because they are disgusting and they're sticking to things. Okay. Alright, so let's put these where they need to go. So the little stripe on them is the positive side, so we point that towards the positive marking on the board. If there's not a plus on the board, thankfully in these situations we have these little curved edges on the outline here, so you can see this side is positive. Of course, that's not exactly how I'm going to put them in. No, we're going to make this look all nice and tidy. So let me just get everything situated here. And let's make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And the trick is to just put them as best you can between 2 spots. There we go. Oops. Sorry if you're going to hear some noise from the fan. I'm just using it so I don't breathe in all these bad fumes. Alright, Charlie, thanks for stopping by. Okay. Alright, so it does not look too bad at all. Sorry, you only saw one of them, but there's the other two. So I think this looks pretty neat. So I'm going to just do the backs of them now. It's always a bit tricky because I'm not left-handed, so... This one is tricky because it's right between two. A little too much solder there, but we could fix that up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I nudge the camera sometimes. Yeah, we got a little bit of a tail going on there, but we'll get to that. We'll fix that up. Okay, so let's see if we can just... I just want to see if I could adjust this. Sorry, I'm not going to show it because it's hard to look. Okay, that's not too bad. So let's just inspect them. I will move the camera so you can see them. 1 second. Alright, so here are our new capacitors. Just going to nudge them. Make sure none of them are moving. No, I don't think those are going anywhere. Perfect. Those look pretty good to me. Let's get some of that flux out of the way while we can. Okay, so I got about 15 minutes left or so. We're going to do as much as we can. I feel like this is always intended to be a 4-part series. But let's see what we can do. Alright, so next here is these two. So let's get these cleaned up. So again, we're going to just get a little bit of fresh solder and just like really just hover over them. I didn't even use any flux on there, and I should have, but let's see if we could get some of these off here. There we go. Alright, not too bad. Got a little bit to clean up here. Looks like some of that is not going to come off, so we'll just scrape that away what we can. Again, we just want to make these as clean as possible. For our new capacitor friends. Now, let me in fact try building a machine. Just get some getting that gunk out. Oh, sorry, the camera moved. I hit the camera. If you had a machine that did that, you wouldn't need humans anymore. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get our flux here. Alright, now these two capacitors are 100 microfarad, 6.3 volt. So that is these two little guys over here. And the positive actually points to each other, which is interesting. So just got to make sure we have that polarity correct. That goes there. And the other goes next to it. Okay. Now this one is what tricked me up last time, because I didn't leave enough of a gap in there for the soldering iron tip to go. So I'm going to just be very mindful of that this time around. And hopefully we won't run into any issues. Because that gap right there is just enough to put the soldering iron in, and that I don't think in fact, you know what? Let's do one at a time. Duh. Let's see if I can nudge this just a little bit further outside. Okay, so that seems to have grabbed, and it does give me some more room here. So again, I'm sorry I'm hitting the camera, it's just in my way here. Okay. Okay, that doesn't... Yeah, Greg. You want to try this? Alright, let's give those a little bit of a nudge. I don't think those are going anywhere. Perfect. Let's clean up some of our excess flux here. That solder joint is bothering me a little bit. Let me see if I can just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so that's not too bad. We got 4 more to go. I can't count today, can I? Alright, let's move on to these ones. So we're gonna flux there. Some of that solder, get some of old solder off of there. Just trim off this wick here. Okay. Hey, those don't look too bad. Yeah, we just want to clean up the area because, believe it or not, I think this flux is leaves a lot more residue than the other flux. Not that I'm saying it's worse, I'm just saying that's what I'm noticing here. Alright, so these two capacitors are 47 microfarad, 16 volts. So we got those two here. And we're going to put down some flux here to hold them in place and to help us solder them. And both of them are going to be pointed with the positive stripe to the left there. Okay, and we're going to try and make this board stop wobbling because that's a little frustrating here. It's because this board has little springs at the bottom to sort of help it slide in and out. Okay, so we're going to do that. That, okay. Not have enough solder on my iron there for that. Let's try that again. That's a little better. Let's just get both of these on this side here. Too much or too little? Jeez. Make up your mind, Stephen. Okay, let's do that a little better. Oh, Kurt, I am sorry. That is never easy. That is never fun. I don't have too much advice to give you on that, but what I will say is it's probably best to not try and fall into the trap that a lot of people do and just try and remain very close friends directly after, because you get confused and you're like, wait, we're working out, we're friends, blah blah blah. I'm not the best person to give advice on this. I'm not saying my advice is golden or anything like that, but sometimes setting the boundaries sort of helps. Try to think of hobbies that you wanted to do, things you wanted to do. Try and get your mind off of things. I know it's cliche, but getting your mind off of things is very helpful in that situation. But I feel bad for you. I really do. But time will help. I know that's something that is very cliche again, but we feel for you. Everyone's been in that situation before. You'll be alright, don't worry. Yeah, I mean, like, don't be like, it's like you were living together or whatever, and you need to, like, move out or whatever. Obviously, you need to contact the person, but, obviously something happened. You want to address that. Part of that is by addressing that. By, don't. I think you know what I'm getting at. It's a little difficult to try and explain, especially when you have hot soldering iron in your hand. But I am sympathetic to that. I do wish you the best. Yes, it's gonna. You'll have your good days and you'll have your bad days. Don't feel like just because you all of a sudden have a bad day, it's the end of you. No, it's you're gonna have your ups and your downs. It's everyone handles it differently, but it's not a fun process. You'll be all right, dude. And this last cap is for you, my friend. Oh, there's two more. The last two caps are for you, my friend. Let's try and get these. So this is the tiniest one. That's gonna go right here. And we did not get any of that gunk off of there first. You're very welcome, Kurt. I do what I can. It would be helpful if I'm looking at the right the right thing on the board here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's try and put this one on. So the plus is going to be the positive side of the capacitor. It's going to be facing me. So this is a tiny, tiny little one. But, yeah, this is the one where we had, I'm going to have to put an angle here, where we sort of had an issue last time because it's going to basically overlap. I got to keep moving this, I'm sorry. It's going to basically overlap where the pads are. So we have to be, I have way too much solder on there. We have to be very careful of how we position this. Otherwise we won't be able to get it completely on there. Nope. Yep, see? That's... I think I need more flux there to begin with. When in doubt, more flux. I don't know why I had an accent, but it's not that late. It's not late enough for my silly accents here. Again, it's not. Well, you know what? Let me. Alright, that took a little more coaxing than usual. I do have to go in a little bit. I have my eye on the clock. And let me make sure my significant other did not message me. No, I got time. I'm good. I'm good for right now. Alright, so let's get this one into place here. "45 minutes is not a good time for a phone battery. Jeez, that's pretty rough. Alright, I think that's making a good connection. Hey Jay, we are on the last capacitor. So if we turn our attention to this corner of the board, let's get our scope all set up here. There we go. Welcome back, Jay, and thank you in advance for your help. Let's just try and agitate this solder here before we wick it all up. And congrats again, Jay, on your Mac Pro CPU board fund. No, that was not easy. So, the other Color Classic, I fixed the board on part 1 and 2 of this stream. So, if you want to rewind and watch that, you'll see much more exploding capacitors than this time. Okay. Just adjust this here. This is in a peculiar area here. It's a little tough, but hopefully we should be okay. Let's try and not melt any of this plastic. that pretty good. And we'll do the end here. And let's see. That goes through. Yes, that is my ringtone for text messages. It's the R2D2 startled noise. I think I've had that for a very long time. So whenever I get a new phone, that setting is just already on there. Alright, so let's clean that up. I don't think this came out too bad at all. I think my capacitor recapping jobs are getting tidier and tidier. I do see some dirty areas on the board. I'm just going to tidy those up a little bit before we plug this in and power it on. It might just be dust, but who knows? There might be some other crud on here. So nothing you're really missing here. I'm just going over with this little Q-tip or cotton bud or whatever you want to call it, making sure there's no little solder balls on the board or anything that I could see, any junk that was left behind. There's a lot of dust on here. Yuck. Okay, and yeah, there's a good amount of flux around some of these areas here, and hopefully this board will work. I don't know, what are you guys feeling? You feeling like this will be a success? Thankfully, I didn't see any pads that look too worse for wear or anything like that, which is good. Always a nice sign there. If it doesn't just start over. Oh, Jay, that is so encouraging. And I know you're serious. That's what's... Okay, so I think we are pretty good to go. Now this flux actually is very sticky compared to the other type. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but when it dries, it's it's really getting itself difficult to come off. No, alright, sticky is good. Okay. Well, now I know this. It's just taking a lot of my cotton buds with it, but alright, so I think we are ready to plug this board in. So I want you guys to place your bets as I make sure everything's in the right area. Polarity is all correct on these. This one could use a little. There we go. I'm hopeful it'll work. Let me just get some alcohol here. Take it to the Genius Bar. Sir, we haven't supported this computer since 1995. We suggest you get a top-of-the-line Mac Pro for your word processing needs. An iPad just won't cut it. Sticky goo, yuck, go away. $50 on Magic Smoke. Alright, Kurt, well, you could submit that to my Patreon account in case there is no Magic Smoke. Alright, so let's switch to our cameras here. Just move some things out of the way. Let me check my phone again. I've been neglecting it. And let's see. Alright, so we're gonna move most of our tools out of the way here to make room for our Color Classic. And let's put our little thing back on here. There we go. All right. So let's pick up our Color Classic. Now I forget which one has. Whoop! My shoelace is tied around the wheel of my chair. That ain't good. I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere. Oh boy. Alright, I'm freed. Alright. The numb nut bar. I don't think Apple would accept that, but you never know. Oh boy. Oh, that's a heavy boy. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff over, like I said. And we're going to spin the Color Classic around. And the board goes right in here. So, I'm going to take a look. First, we do need some memory on the board. So I'm going to take the memory modules from this board here. And I'm just going to put them on that board. So we have our video memory. And then we have our two memory modules here. We're going to put in our memory first. Okay. And our video memory. Okay, so our board is all pretty looking and new, and this will probably be the screenshot of the YouTube video now. Yeah, so there we go. Is that a non-standard Apple display? These displays, although they are, well, this one's a Samsung. Don't pay attention to this one. This one's a cheapo one. These displays up here, I don't really care for Dell machines or anything at all. And let's be honest, the panels inside of these aren't Dell either. And the chipsets in the control panels probably aren't either. But I will say, these monitors can input VGA, DVI, S-Video, and composite, so I'm happy with them because I can plug basically anything I want into them, especially retro stuff, and they will pretty much accept it. Alright, so we're going to put this board in here. We're going to spin this around so we can see the front of it. I'm going to grab a keyboard and a mouse. Because you do need a keyboard on these models. I forget if this one has a working hard drive or not, but we'll soon find out. Let me turn the soldering iron off. Let me turn this fan off. And let me remember which side the ADB port is on. I'm glad some of you have faith in me. That's refreshing. Okay, and let's get our power cable here. I will adjust the camera too, because you probably don't want an aerial view of this thing. There we go. Much better. Yes, exactly. That's exactly why I'd like to have those on those monitors. Okay, sorry, just got to respond to this. Hold on. I hate that. When I'm on the Apple Watch, I'm about to respond, and then another message comes up, and then it doesn't let me respond. Anyway, all right, let's plug this in. Let's make sure our power is set to off. It's always hard feeling for the power thing on this because I don't know which way it goes. Oh, come on. Is it horizontal? Yes, I could just look behind it, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. Okay. The moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see if this little guy will turn on once again. So place your bets. I'm going to be confident. Let's say it will work. Let's turn on the back. And let's hit that power button. Come on. No! Sometimes this keyboard sticks. Now let's turn it off. Let's make sure that everything is seated correctly. Just reseating it, because this thing probably has a lot of dust in there. It's been sitting on a shelf for a while. Let's make sure this ADB cord is actually fully in there too. And let's try that again. Really? You don't want to do it, huh? Well, I'm actually going to try the other body. Let's see if that somehow makes a difference here. Oh boy, these things look a lot lighter than they are. Right, again, let's just take a look. None of these are wobbly, so I believe they're making connections and everything. Just double checking the polarity. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes. Okay, and let's plug it into here. Make sure it's firmly placed in the back. Plug in our power cable. Plug in our keyboard. And let's give it a go. Oh, come on. You don't like me, do you, Mr. Classic? Oh, that's a shame. Turn it off again. Let's try the other ADB port, maybe? Just for the heck of it, I'm trying another keyboard. I mean, this keyboard worked the other day, but let's try another keyboard. Let's make sure it's turned on. It is. Nope. Huh. Well, I wonder if maybe I got a capacitor in the wrong place. Let's double check here. Well, I think according to my cheat sheet here, let me bring it up here. We got 47s. Got that one, got that one. Yeah, I could swap the ADB cable too. I was using it yesterday. I'm just seeing if there's any visible damage elsewhere. I really didn't check over this board too good, to be honest with you. I'm just going to... There's some gunk around some of these chips. So we may need a deeper cleaning of this machine. That may be something we have to do because, you know, sometimes that is necessary. I'm just taking another quick look around. See if I missed anything that would be suspicious. And see if I'm missing any obvious traces that are broken or anything. Let me check the underside of this. Looks okay. So let's try it again. And let's make sure this memory is actually seated also. Although we would likely get a sad Mac noise if it was the memory. But let's try it again. Let's make sure we're not anything obstructed in there or anything like that. Okay, that's firmly in there. Let's plug it in. Get our ADB cable. Let's get another one just for the heck of it. Where did I put the other one? Where did I put the other one? Come on. Okay, we have another one here. And let's give it a try. Nope. Well, that's unfortunate, guys. This Mac Color Classic does not seem to be happy. I honestly don't know why. Everything looks okay to me, but there may be something smaller that I'm just not grasping here. So, which is funny because the other board I thought was in much worse shape, and that booted right up. So, yeah, that is frustrating. So, alright, well, I'm going to have to end the stream here. Unfortunately, I have to go, but we will try and figure this out in part 4, I guess. But it is frustrating that this doesn't want to work, but yeah. Alright, well, it's been fun, guys. I appreciate all the super chats, all the support, all the likes and subscribes and all that stuff. I'll try and do this again real soon, and we'll try and get to the bottom of what's going on with that little friend, the Color Classic here. How about that? So thanks again. Take care, guys. Again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter as Mac84TV. And if you want to support me on Patreon, well, you can do that as well. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Have fun. Oh no, where's the end stream button? It's hidden under all these windows.